Tonight, welcome to a journey through the ancient sands of Egyptian mythology. We dive into the story of Osiris, a tale of rule, betrayal, and timeless renewal. This myth captures the essence of life's cycles, exploring themes of tragedy and resurrection. Settle in as we uncover the mysteries surrounding Osiris, a figure who symbolizes rebirth and hope. In the calm of the evening, let your thoughts drift through the past, where legends were born. And now, let the tale unfold. In the ancient lands of Egypt, under a sky painted with hues of amber and gold, Osiris reigned as a just and benevolent king. Upon the sacred Nile's banks, the heart of Egypt pulsated with life. Succeeding his father Hebe, Osiris ascended the throne at a time when chaos and fragmentation threatened the unity and prosperity of the kingdom. His presence alone seemed to cast a calming, noble aura over the vast stretches of fertile lands and bustling villages. The people saw him not just as a king, but as a beacon of stability and growth. Osiris's vision for his kingdom was one of peace, harmony, and abundance. He was a ruler who walked among his people, listening to their needs and fears. Under his leadership, agriculture flourished like never before. The introduction of structured farming techniques transformed barren grounds into fields teeming with grain, enough to feed every hungry mouth. Rivers ran clear and full, the lands were lush and green, and cities began to sprout from what had been mere clusters of huts. Osiris also instituted laws that knit the scattered people into a cohesive society where fairness and justice reigned supreme. The prosperity under Osiris's rule was unparalleled. The once disjointed tribes began to see themselves as a single, unified people with a shared destiny, all steered by the fair hand of their king. Commerce thrived as the markets brimmed with goods, woven linens, fragrant spices, and intricately carved artifacts. Celebrations lit the night sky, and music echoed across the great Nile, a melody of life and joy. Osiris's wisdom extended beyond the tactical aspects of rule. He understood the art of win-win negotiations and shared resources, elevating Egypt's reputation far and wide as a land of prosperity and goodwill. Yet within this fertile ground of unity and growth, shadowed seeds of envy began to stir. Among those who watched Osiris with a growing sense of discontent was his own brother, Set. Where others saw harmony, Set saw himself obscured by Osiris's brilliant light. This festering sense of jealousy led Set down a path of bitterness as he watched his brother thrive and their subjects sing praises to his name. He harbored ambitions of his own, ones he felt were constantly thwarted by his brother's successes and the people's unwavering loyalty to Osiris. Despite Set's burgeoning envy, Osiris remained oblivious to the storm brewing within his family. With an unwavering belief in spreading goodness beyond Egypt's borders, Osiris embarked on journeys to neighboring lands, sharing his knowledge of civilization and governance. He dreamt of a world where wisdom and peace would flourish, transcending borders and cultures. These ventures, however, left his throne vulnerable, as Set began contemplating ways to seize the opportunity that Osiris's absence presented. The people of Egypt revered Osiris as a symbol of life and renewal. For them, as long as the Nile continued to mirror the abundant tide of his reign, their lives experienced peace and well-being. Osiris's influence extended far beyond tangible advancements in agriculture or law. He was a living embodiment of the cycle of life itself, epitomized by the constant ebb and flow of the Nile. Both a god and a king, his essence was interwoven with the fabric of their daily lives. As dusk settled over the Egyptian fields, with the setting sun cloaking the world in a warm glow, Osiris surveyed his kingdom. The golden tones cascading upon the crops mirrored the golden era of his rule. Yet, unbeknownst to him, The seeds of betrayal planted by Set were silently growing roots, a betrayal that would test the stability of this serene land. In this twilight of contentment, a sense of foreboding began to seep into the peace of evening. The whispers of Set's jealousy took on a life of their own, setting the stage for challenges that lay beyond the horizon. As the people prepared for harvest under the watchful eyes of their beloved king, little did they know that change was inevitable, and it would arrive stealthily, like the gentle flows of the Nile, altering their lives forever. The tranquil days of Osiris's reign were underpinned by the quiet rumblings of envy in the heart of his brother Set-Khadr. Osiris, the beloved king, had forged an era of prosperity through his benevolence and justice, casting long shadows into which Set's ambitions fell. In the hallowed halls of Set's mind, resentment brewed. Here was a man who desired what his brother had, a throne, respect, and the adoration of the people of Egypt. As Osiris embarked on journeys to spread the light of civilization beyond Egypt's borders, Set seized upon this opportunity, crafting a plan that would upend the peace Osiris had so carefully nurtured. In the dimly lit chambers of his abode, set into motion a scheme conceived not just out of jealousy, but cunning. He cunningly took measure of Osiris, under the guise of brotherly affection, preparing a chest of ornate design. This was not a gift. It was a trap, meticulously fashioned to fit Osiris exactly. The chest, with its elaborate carvings, shimmered in the light of flickering lanterns, a lure crafted to ensnare the unsuspecting king. Each detail was painstakingly crafted to both impress and deceive, laying the groundwork for Set's enthralling plan of betrayal. The day arrived for a grand feast, announced with fanfare and promises of revelry beyond compare. Invitations spread across the kingdom, drawing nobles and commoners alike to Set's opulent palace. Under the guise of sibling camaraderie, Set concealed malice with a welcoming smile. The shadows within the feasting hall danced with the light of countless lamps, casting a warm yet deceiving glow over the glittering gathering. The centerpiece of this festivity was none other than the beautifully adorned chest, stationed prominently amidst the lavish spread, a seemingly innocent prize for a playful game. With a hearty voice, Set proposed a game to entertain his guests. The challenge was simple. Whoever fit perfectly within the exquisite chest would claim it as a prize. Those gathered marveled at the chest's splendid craftsmanship, each attempting to fit themselves within its ornate confines. Laughter and jest filled the air as friend after friend climbed in, only to find the chest's dimensions askew by just a degree or two. Oblivious to the sinister undertone, Osiris himself was soon beckoned to try his luck. With the trust and innocence that had defined his reign, he complied, stepping into the chest that had been personally tailored to his form. The feasting hall quieted as Osiris settled himself inside effortlessly, the crowd ready to cheer the noble king's luck. But triumph turned to horror in an instant. Great was the deception, for as Osiris lay within, Set's intentions were unmasked. At Set's unuttered command, his henchmen swiftly moved, the clatter of nails swiftly securing the lid over the holy body of Osiris. Panic replaced merriment as Set, with glinting eyes, ordered the chest be sealed with molten lead, ensuring its impregnable state. Amidst the chaos of the hall, Set's triumphant smirk shone through the shadow, his long-held plan having reached its crescendo. With Osiris trapped and helpless within, Set's betrayal bore completion as he cast the chest into the mighty Nile, whose waters shimmered under the starry sky. The river, a symbol of life and renewal, now carried within its depths the future of Egypt's king. The guests stood frozen, disbelief marring the jubilant evening. Yet, Set reveled in his victory, the sweetness of his treachery lingering in the night air. His triumph, however, came with a lurking unease, for while the Nile bore Osiris away, whispers of this dark deed began to swirl amongst those who had once gathered in good spirit. The cosmic balance had been disrupted, and Set's fleeting success laid the very seeds of his inevitable undoing. Though the chest was lost to the depths, each passing moment swelled with the promise of inevitable pursuit and the stirring of destiny's wheel. The gravity of Set's betrayal set in motion the wheels of a quest that would echo through the ages, a pursuit led by love and loyalty to restore what had been unjustly stolen. Soon, the ethereal whisper of Osiris's name began to weave through the land, carried by the river's currents, hinting at a saga of loss, search, and resurgence, yet to unfold. Set's betrayal had left a profound void in the heart of ancient Egypt, and the once ceaseless whispers of prosperity now gave way to murmurs of treachery. Isis, the devoted sister-wife of Osiris, was overcome with sorrow at the news of her husband's fate. The grief that wrapped around her like a shroud was woven with determination, setting her resolve to find Osiris and restore what had been lost. In the stillness of her sanctuary, she wept for the life intertwined with her own, her tears mingling with the eternal waters of the Nile, the very artery of life that now guided her purpose. Disguised in garments of the common folk, Isis set forth on a quest along the ancient river's banks. She knew the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, yet the depth of her love for Osiris lent her strength. The Nile, stretching under the vast canvas of the sky, became her compass. Each village she passed whispered rumors and snippets of the chest's voyage, guiding her along the serpentine path of the river. The hesitant words of traders and fishermen held clues, drops in the vast ocean of knowledge she sought, yet each was a step closer to her beloved Osiris. Her quest led her to cross paths with Nephthys, her compassionate sister. Upon hearing of the betrayal, Nephthys was moved by the plight of her sister. She pledged her loyalty to Isis, vowing to assist in the quest for Osiris. Their kinship, strong and unwavering, forged a bond that drove them forward. Together, under the shelter of the night sky, they became silhouettes against the timeless expanse of the Nile, their journey imbued with a shared sense of duty and love. As Isis and Nephthys journeyed side by side, determination etched upon their faces, they encountered children along the riverbank. These unassuming witnesses to the world's unfolding mysteries had seen the chest, noting its strange passage along the river's currents. Their innocent yet vital insights helped to piece together the rapid voyage the chest had taken. Isis thanked them with a gentle touch and a promise that their aid would not be forgotten, as the whispers of their words rippled like gentle waves across her heart. Their journey was not without peril, and it was then that the sisters were joined by Anubis, the watchful guide of the netherworld. His presence, quiet yet resolute, lent an air of assurance to their endeavors. Anubis, protector of the lost and the guardian through shadowed lands, knew the terrain they traversed and offered his companionship willingly. With his guidance, the journey became less a struggle and more an invocation of shared resolve and persistence. At last, the focus of their quest drew near as they reached a place where the air itself seemed to whisper tales of fate. Beneath the night sky, awash in starlight, the sisters discovered an acacia tree, its limbs cradling the wooden chest that held Osiris. Here, where the river wound gently around the tree's base, the chest had found its resting place. Isis and Nephthys stood in awe before it, their breath mingling in the night, as a sense of fulfillment enveloped them, the end of one journey heralding the beginning of the next. The moment brimmed with the effulgence of hope restored, setting the stage for the trials to come. Though the path forward was veiled, Isis knew the quest was far from over. Her courage resolute, she prepared for the next steps towards a reunion with Osiris, the thought of his resurrection lighting her way like a beacon in the dense mist of uncertainty. As the first rays of dawn tentatively brushed the horizon, Isis stood beneath the acacia tree, heart heavy and mind resolute. Before her lay the chest that held the remains of her beloved Osiris, a king and symbol of life unjustly taken from the world. The silent testimony of nature enveloped them, a magical energy awakening at this auspicious moment. With trembling hands, Isis opened the chest, revealing Osiris's lifeless body, now fragmentary and a far cry from the regality he once embodied. Tears filled her eyes as she mourned, her grief a profound elegy for all he had been and all they had lost. But she knew this was not the end. Her heart whispered promises of renewal. Summoning her inner strength, Isis began the sacred rituals needed to enact a resurrection, revered and shrouded in tradition. She carefully laid out the ritual artifacts, each an embodiment of hope and devotion. As the incantations began to flow from her lips, they carried the essence of ancient wisdom, calling upon the energies of the universe to guide her endeavors. These melodies wove their way through the misty air, binding the scene into a web of purpose and magic. The world seemed to pause, listening with bated breath, as she forged the path to breathe life into Osiris once more. Nephthys, ever the silent guardian and steadfast ally, joined Isis, casting protective spells to hold Set's malevolent forces at bay. Her presence was a fortress of tranquility, ensuring the sanctity of the ritual remained untouched by the chaos lurking in the shadows. Together, the sisters created a beacon of resilience, their determination an unyielding pillar against the dark tides of envy and betrayal. Underneath the tree's broad leaves, a sacred dance of love and fidelity unfolded, embraced by the gentle rustling of nature as a witness. As the ritual crescendoed, an ethereal breeze stirred the air, an unseen spirit wind that carried with it Osiris's voice, a soft whisper heard only by Isis. Its presence wrapped around her like a comforting embrace, infusing her with a renewed sense of purpose and calm. She listened intently, filled with awe at the enduring connection between them, which not even death could sever. Osiris reassured her with words of love and encouragement, promising that this journey of resurrection was not their last, but the first step toward a sacred union that transcended both realms of life and the netherworld. With mounting anticipation and hope, Isis watched as Osiris's body began to glow faintly, a luminescent sheen that hinted at the life returning to him. The mystic energy enveloped him, spinning a cocoon of vibrancy where once there had been decay. A golden aura spread from his form, bathing everything in a hue of divine warmth. The moment was a visual testament to the power of love and magic intertwined, heralding a rebirth not just for Osiris, but for the world anchored by his spirit and guidance. In the sacred quietude beneath the tree, Isis felt a profound shift within herself. Through a divine touch imbued with the essence of rebirth, Horus's spirit was conceived, a miraculous seed destined to germinate into the avenger and continuer of Osiris's legacy. The herald of their future, Horus was symbolized at that moment as a beacon of hope and justice, his essence bridging the realms of sorrow and triumph. Wrapped in divine intention, this conception became a cornerstone upon which a new chapter for Egypt would be built. Osiris, now rejuvenated though briefly, opened his eyes to his beloved consort. The king, though restored only momentarily, radiated a deep wisdom accumulated from his passage through the mysteries of death. With gentle authority, he bestowed blessings upon Isis, Nephthys, and all who would partake in the tales of his resurrection. His words were those of a sovereign deeply connected to the cycles of life and death, teaching the secrets of resilience and renewal to all who would heed. Even in the transience of his return, his presence healed wounds left by betrayal and whispered of a future where justice and cosmic balance would prevail. The dawn grew steadily into daylight, as Osiris gradually departed to take his rightful place in the netherworld, his legacy firmly intertwined with the renewal cycle of the Nile. His departure, though poignant, was not marked by sorrow, but a serene acceptance, a promise birthed of love, that through Horus, balance will be fought for and sustained. The atmosphere remained imbued with a sacred stillness, each breath taken hallowed by the events that transpired. Isis stood tall in the clearing, her spirit buoyed by newfound strength and resolve. As the sun rose high, illuminating the path forward, she felt a reassurance. The seeds were sown for the conflicts and triumphs yet to unfold. Osiris's resurrection, though swift, became the harbinger of greater battles to come, whispering secrets of a new dawn, one where Horus would rise to avenge his father and restore the righteous order. In the hushed stillness of the Nile marshes, Isis sought sanctuary from the eyes of the world. After the miraculous resurrection of Osiris, she knew she must protect the seed of hope he had sown, their child. Pregnant with Horus, she cloaked herself in the hidden reeds, away from the vengeful gaze of Set. The marshlands, fertile and teeming with life, offered both solace and shield, their whispers of life and renewal echoing her own maternal instincts. Anubis, the loyal protector and guide through the netherworld, stood vigil over the marshes. His watchful eyes scanned the horizon, ensuring Isis's safety amidst the tranquil swamplands. With his guidance, no harm would come to her or the unborn child. The marshes, a mosaic of gentle colors and textures, became a sanctuary where the Divine Mother could nurture the life within her without fear. In the soft glow of dawn, Isis gave birth to Horus. The child's first cries harmonized with the morning songs of the birds, as if celebrating this new beginning. As she cradled her son, the reeds seemed to bend in reverence, acknowledging the arrival of this divine boy. It was as if nature itself understood the significance of this moment, echoing the cycles of life and rebirth that Osiris embodied. From the outset, Horus was marked by signs of his divine heritage. The creatures of the marshes, from the fish that swam in the Nile's gentle flow to the birds that soared in the azure sky, acknowledged his sacred presence. This reverence was a testament to his destiny foretold in the stars, a beacon of hope for the future restoration of balance. Despite the shadow of danger lurking in the guise of Set's inevitable discovery, Isis dedicated herself to raising Horus. Her love, unwavering and fierce, became the armor and strength Horus needed. She taught him the values that Osiris had championed: justice, truth, and resilience. Horus absorbed her teachings with a blend of awe and comprehension that bespoke his future role as an avenger and ruler. As time unfolded with the delicate grace of a lotus blossom on the Nile, Horus grew rapidly. His strength and sense of justice surfaced early, his eyes glowing with the promise of Osiris's legacy. His laughter wove through the marshes like a luminescent thread, binding his formative experiences together and shaping the spirit that would one day confront Set. Yet, shadows darkened the edges of this nurturing sanctuary. Set, ever vigilant, learned of Horus's existence. His ambition, a relentless flame, spurred him to plot against the young child. The threat was real and ever-present, a constant reminder of the danger that loomed over this fragile chapter of peace. But loyalties forged from the steadfastness of the gods provided a protective sheath around the boy. Nephthys, ever supportive, along with other deities loyal to Osiris and Isis, stood as guardian figures. Their collective strength, rooted in family loyalty and cosmic balance, formed an impenetrable barrier against Set's unfolding schemes. They, like the sunrise chasing away the night, guarded against the encroaching darkness. In this nurturing environment, Horus's childhood mirrored the growth of Egypt's riverbanks, both flourishing against adversity. Each day, challenges and small victories shaped Horus, embedding the lessons he would need to fulfill his destiny. His life's early trials molded him as naturally as the Nile shaped its course through the ancient land. As the chapters of Horus's early life played out beneath the watchful eyes of the sun and stars, a purpose was inscribed upon the river's flow. Horus would soon emerge from the serenity of the marsh, shaped by love and destiny, ready to challenge the chaos Set threatened to unleash. The path forward was set, one bound within the eternal cycles that Osiris had resurrected, promising new life and balance. Under the gold-tinged sky, Isis stood, cradling her child beside the calm waters. Her love, profound and protective, was reflected in the gentle ripples of the marsh, a testament to the nurturing power of a mother and the unfolding destiny of her son. In the heart of Egypt, amidst the monumental stones of ancient temples, young Horus began to forge his path. With the nurturing wisdom of his mother, Isis, as his guiding light, Horus embarked on a journey that was as much about inner transformation as it was about preparing for the great battle with Set. The sun cast its golden light across the land, mirroring the fiery determination that ignited within him. As he trained, the echoes of his father's legacy resounded in his heart, driving him forward in an unyielding march toward destiny. Under the gentle gaze of Isis, Horus's training was both rigorous and enlightening. She imparted not only the physical skills needed to confront his uncle Set, but also the virtues of justice, compassion, and wisdom that must guide a noble ruler. Horus learned the ancient rhythms of combat, his movements fluid and precise, echoing the timeless dance of the cosmos. He practiced relentlessly, honing his abilities until they became second nature, each day bringing him closer to the readiness required for the trials that lay ahead. Determined to gain the favor and insight of the divine, Horus embarked on a pilgrimage to the sacred temples scattered throughout the land. In each hallowed hall, he sought the counsel of the gods, offering prayers and sharing his resolve to bring justice to Egypt. These divine sanctuaries, steeped in the whispers of eternity, held secrets that only the truly devoted could uncover. The gods, recognizing his sincerity and divine heritage, bestowed upon him their blessings, resonating through him as a strengthening force on his arduous path. The trials Horus faced were not merely tests of physical feats, but also of courage and valor. Among the cracked and imposing stones of the ancient ruins, he encountered challenges meant to strip away doubt and fear, leaving behind only the essence of strength. As he moved through these trials, his spirit became fortified with resilience forged in the crucible of adversity. Each victory carved into his soul the reminder that courage, tempered with virtue, yields power unimaginable. In a sacred grove fringed by the shadows of desert sands, Horus encountered the watchful deity Anubis. The god of the netherworld, standing as a sentinel of secrets, offered Horus protection and advice. Anubis, with his keen perception of the realms beyond, counseled Horus on the subtleties of guidance and guardianship, preparing him for the roles he would undertake. This encounter fortified Horus, giving him both knowledge and solace in the ongoing quest against Set's looming threat. As rumors of Horus's growing strength reached the ears of lesser deities and spirits, they came forth to pledge their allegiance. These new allies, drawn to his sense of purpose and justice, formed a diverse but united assembly under Horus's banner. Their loyalty became an unbreakable bond, providing him with both moral and mystical reinforcement. Together they strengthened the foundation upon which Horus would stand in the future confrontation against Set. Even as Horus expanded his circle of allies, Set's specter loomed large. The god of chaos, ever cunning and relentless, sent challenges meant to harass the young Horus. These obstacles, diverse in their menace, served to test Horus's resolve, each one a trial upon which his courage was balanced. Undeterred, Horus endured each assault with the strength imparted by his mother and allies, his spirit unbroken and ever resolute. One night, Under the quiet tapestry of stars, Horus received a vision of profound clarity. In this ethereal dream, he saw the visage of Osiris, his father, imparting words of wisdom and encouragement. The vision reaffirmed Horus's path and purpose, binding him ever more tightly to his duty. It was a sacred moment, a blessing from the afterlife that buoyed his resolve and fortified his heart. In these trials and visions, Horus's right eye, a divine emblem reflecting the power of the sun, emerged as a potent symbol. This eye embodied not just physical sight but the insight of justice and truth, casting light upon the path he must tread. It became a token of his divine inheritance and the righteous justice he was destined to uphold, glowing with the promise of order over chaos. As the sun set on these preparatory endeavors, Horus stood amidst the temple's ancient ruins, resolute under the blazing light above. The trials had shaped him, honed him, and now he stood ready, eyes fixed on the horizon where Set awaited. The journey ahead promised not only the challenge of battle, but the fulfillment of a legacy carved by time and myth. In the quiet of the temple, enveloped in the warmth of golden light, Horus knew the time was approaching to reclaim his father's legacy and set right the cosmic balance disrupted by Set's ambitions. As the time for confrontation approached, Horus felt the weight of his destiny grow even heavier. He knew the battle against Set would be a monumental task, requiring not just strength, but also the unity and support of those who believed in his cause. With this in mind, Horus set out to rally his followers. Those loyal to Osiris, recognizing the divine right of Horus to restore balance, flocked to his side. Throughout Egypt, messengers echoed the call to arms, summoning deities, spirits, and mortals who had felt the touch of Osiris's just rule. This assembly of allies added to Horus's resolve, reminding him of the shared desire for justice and the continuation of his father's legacy. Meanwhile, Set fortified his own forces, preparing for the impending battle with cunning and anticipation. Set recognized the threat Horus posed to his rule and the chaos he had wrought. He gathered mercenary warriors and relied on his mastery of deceptive tactics and might. His preparations were not only in the physical realm. Through whispered promises and fear, he sowed discord and multiplied discontent among the unsteady ranks of those who might waver in their cause. Loyalty to Horus. Word of the looming conflict rippled through Egypt like a breeze stirring the sands of the desert. In marketplaces and temples, rumors spread. Some spoke of inevitable destruction, while others held firm to the hope of rekindled peace under Horus' guidance. The tension in the air was palpable, a living thing intertwining the hopes and fears of all who listened to the whispers on the wind. Before setting out, Horus sought blessings from his mother, Isis, who had been his guiding light through his trials. With gentle words and ceremonial rites, Isis bestowed upon him her magic, offering protections and empowering him with courage that only a son of Osiris could wield. Her faith in him was unwavering, standing as a pillar of strength as Horus prepared himself for the challenges ahead. Anubis, ever the loyal guardian, pledged his support in the sacred quest. His role was to guide souls who might fall in the coming strife, ensuring their passage to the realms of peace and judgment. His presence was a quiet promise that even in death, there was guidance and a journey where honor could be maintained. As the forces of Horus gathered, the sky began to mirror the swelling tides of the impending conflict. Dark clouds rolled in like a majestic curtain, casting an ominous shroud over the Egyptian plains. It was as if the very cosmos acknowledged and anticipated the clash that could reshape the mortal's realm and the divine. With each flash of lightning in the distance, the stars seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the fulfillment of fate. Amid this charged atmosphere, loyalists to Osiris took up brushes and cloth, emblazoning his emblem upon banners and shields, infusing them with hope and memories of a greater past. Each painted symbol was a reminder of Osiris's reign, a time of justice, abundance, and renewal. For the followers of Horus, these tokens were infused with both nostalgia and their fervent wishes for a future where balance would once again be the core of their existence. The tension between Horus and Set crystallized further as they exchanged solemn messages, each vow resonating like the toll of a far-off bell. A final warning whispered through the lands, each claiming the certainty of the other's defeat. Yet amid these declarations, there lay a deeper, unspoken understanding of the stakes involved. More than just a battle for divine justice. This was a tug between the forces of order and known chaos. As dusk settled in, painting the world in hues of dark red and storm gray, the forces of both Horus and Set made their final preparations, casting long shadows across the land. The gathering storm, both literal and metaphorical, loomed large over the plains of Egypt, a herald of the events to come. Despite the heavy air of anticipation, there was also a quiet earnestness, a recognition that when night fell, it would mark a true beginning as much as it would an end. The watchers in the sky continued their silent vigil, reflecting on the eternal cycles that Osiris's story had always embodied. As forces converged, so too did a sense of inevitable transformation. The scene was set, and in the distance, the ancient melody of destiny's loom hummed, weaving together past, present, and the uncertain tapestry of what lay beyond the coming storm, through the battle. And beyond, as the dawn broke over the vast Egyptian plains, a sense of anticipation filled the air. Horus, his eyes burning with the resolve of justice, stood ready to confront Set. The impending confrontation had spread whispers across the land like wildfire. Followers of Horus gathered, their determination mirrored in their steadfast gazes. Meanwhile, Set's forces amassed on the horizon, a swirling shadow ready to unleash chaos. These two opposing forces were locked in a dance as old as time itself, a struggle for justice and balance. The sky above darkened ominously, casting a cloak of storm clouds that shifted and rumbled in anticipation. Lightning flashed intermittently, casting eerie shadows on the ground. It seemed as if the heavens themselves trembled at the immensity of what was to come. As the winds whipped through the desert sands, Horus and Set met at the center of the battlefield, where lifetimes of conflict and destiny collided. Their eyes locked, echoing the timeless battle between light and darkness. Set, ever cunning and resourceful, was the first to strike. He used his intelligence and guile to highlight the slightest weaknesses in Horus's defense. With each feint, he sought to throw Horus off balance, a testament to his mastery of deception. Yet, Horus's conviction held firm. The son of Osiris matched each of Set's maneuvers with his own resilience, drawing from the wisdom passed down by his father, a wisdom that spoke of fairness, strategy, and patience. Around them, the forces of Horus showed valor that resonated like a hymn. They wove through the chaos of Set's army with a unity and strength that came from their shared purpose. Every soldier, god and spirit called upon all they had learned in their time following Horus. They relied on their training and their belief in the righteousness of their cause to press on, even as Set's forces surged like an unrelenting wave. In the maelstrom of combat, divine intervention played an invisible hand, a celestial tapestry spun among mortals. Various gods and spirits observed the battlefield, their presences felt in gusts of wind or flickering lights. It was as if the cosmos whispered its own hopes and bearings into the fray, silently shaping the tides of battle and encouraging the favored to endure. Tragedy struck when Horus, in a moment of vulnerability, lost an eye in the heat of combat. The loss marked a significant turning point, not just physically, but spiritually and symbolically. Yet even this did not quell his spirit. It only kindled his determination further, serving as a reminder of the sacrifices necessary for justice. The Eye of Horus, though lost, transformed into a symbol of watchfulness and protection, its influence reaching far beyond the battlefield. Rallying from the blow, Horus deployed strategic maneuvers that countered Set's chaos with resolute bravery. Every move echoed his training, the legacy of a lineage that believed in harmony and justice. Set's wild and unruly nature met its match in Horus's calculated tactics, a testament to the strength of character passed from father to son. As the battle raged, the land itself seemed to respond with tremors that vibrated through the earth beneath them. The energy of their divine power was so immense that it resonated through every grain of sand, every whisper of the wind. Each thunderous clap of the heavens was an echo of their struggle, a struggle that transcended time and space, touching the core of creation. Even as the storm's fury persisted and the skies crackled with electricity, the outcome of the cosmic clash remained uncertain. Both Horus and Set knew that their destiny was not just in their own hands, but intertwined with the will of the gods themselves, a will that always sought to restore balance and peace. As they continued to fight, the intensity of their struggle mirrored the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The stage was set for resolution, but whether it would be peace or further turmoil could not yet be revealed. As the storm raged on, both combatants were reminded of the destinies they were woven into, a tapestry of myth that spanned across generations and time. On the vast Egyptian plains, where the echoes of battle had intensified, Horus stood at the front line, surveying the fraying conflict. The air was thick with the remnants of divine energy, charged by the earlier cosmic struggle. Yet, amidst the chaos, Horus found tranquility in the memory of his father, Osiris. Every strike, every order was fueled by the enduring legacy left by Osiris, which flowed through Horus like a river's current. Here, in the heart of the battleground, the young god felt the weight of his lineage, a sacred duty to honor his father's will and restore balance to the world. Meanwhile, Set's forces, who had once marched with assertive pride, began to waver under Horus's inspiring leadership. These soldiers, once emboldened by Set's promises of power, now witnessed a strength in Horus that they could not comprehend. With each coordinated move and rallying cry, Horus demonstrated not only prowess in battle, but an unwavering commitment to justice and rightful rule. Set's legions, confronted with this embodiment of duty and honor, found themselves faltering, their morale dwindling as Horus's army pressed forward with relentless determination. In the midst of this shifting tide, Horus made a fervent appeal to the gods for their judgment on this conflict that had scarred both land and sky. He sought wisdom and discernment, calling upon the divine assembly to weigh Set's treachery against the enduring hope and harmony Osiris had sowed. The response was swift, as divine energies, ethereal and warm, began to channel through Horus, bolstering his resolve. The gods, in their infinite wisdom, bestowed upon him the strength to stand firm against the chaos that Set had inflicted upon the world. As the confrontation reached its climax, Horus faced Set in the heart of the tumultuous battleground. It was here, amid the swirling sands and dissipating storm clouds, that Horus reclaimed his lost eye. This eye, long associated with the sun and a symbol of protection and healing, was more than a physical restoration. It was a manifestation of Horus's triumph over adversity and symbolic of the light being restored to Egypt. With his vision whole once more, Horus's power was magnified, signaling the impending end of Set's reign of disruption. Seeing that the cosmic balance was indeed tipping away from him, Set could no longer withstand the divine tide that surged against his defiance. Overcome by the destiny that had been woven long before this battle, Set was banished to the desolate, arid desert wastes, where his chaos would be far removed from the civilized world. This act of banishment, however, did not mark an end but a transference, as Set took on the role of a symbol of necessary disorder, distanced but eternally balanced by Horus's renewed strength and order. With Set's exile complete, Horus was rightfully proclaimed the sovereign ruler, ushering in a new era for Egypt. The realm once again bathed in the warmth of justice and peace, as Horus took his place upon the throne that had been his since birth. The land of Egypt responded in kind, rejoicing in the restored harmony that Horus's victory brought. Temples adorned with offerings, and the river Nile itself, swelling with life-giving waters, provided a testament to the enduring legacy of Osiris, now perpetuated through his son. Yet, even amidst the celebrations and hymns of victory, there was a solemn acknowledgement of the sacrifices made. The battle had left its mark, etching memories into the collective consciousness of gods and mortals alike. It served as a reminder of the price paid for cosmic balance, and the vigilance required to maintain harmony in a world woven from both chaos and order. As the dust of the battlefield settled, Egypt looked forward to an era of renewal and prosperity under Horus's wise and just rule. In this triumph, Horus fulfilled his outer goal and honored the spirit of his father, but the journey to preserve Osiris's story and his influence on both the living world and the afterlife was just beginning. In the aftermath of the decisive battle, the dust settled, and the echoes of Horus's victory resonated across the land of Egypt. The battlefield, now a serene clearing, held the remnants of the epic clash where justice had been served and cosmic balance awaited its divine acknowledgement. Horus, the valiant son of Osiris, now stood before the heavenly tribunal, tasked with presenting his father's case and ensuring that justice would be fulfilled in accordance with the divine order. The divine court was a majestic sight, enveloped in a tapestry of shimmering gold and deep indigo under a celestial expanse filled with silver starlight. The gods, each an embodiment of the cosmos's vast and enigmatic forces, convened with a solemnity befitting their eternal roles. As Horus approached, the atmosphere vibrated with an air of profound significance, reflective of the eternal myths in which they would now play a part. Horus, with a heart full of reverence, opened the proceedings by laying bare the grievances born from Set's betrayal and the chaos that followed. The gods listened intently, their expressions inscrutable yet respectful, awaiting the resolution of a narrative as old as the sands of time. As he spoke, Horus encapsulated the trials faced not only by himself but by all involved, emphasizing the enduring legacy of his father, Osiris, and the turmoil wrought by Set's ambitions. It was a moment where words held the weight of ages, seeking to restore harmony between the fractured realms of the living and the deceased. Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, took his place as the scribe. With deliberate precision, he recorded the discourse, ensuring every word was captured for eternity. His presence symbolized the critical balance of justice and intellect, vital to maintaining the cosmic order. This transcription would become part of the timeless records, guarding against any distortion and serving as a beacon for those seeking truth through the epochs. Isis, ever the devoted sister-wife, rose to appeal for Osiris's eternal exaltation. Her words, woven with love and wisdom, painted Osiris not just as a patriarch of the past, but as the rightful monarch of the netherworld. Through her eloquence, she conveyed Osiris's generosity and justice, virtues that had sown peace throughout Egypt and promised serenity beyond the world of the living. The court, moved by her heartfelt plea, acknowledged the righteousness of her words and the undying bond that connected their destinies. In recognition of his enduring virtues and remarkable journey, the gods bestowed upon Osiris the title of King of the Netherworld. This exaltation was not a mere ceremonial gesture, but an acknowledgement of Osiris's role as the guardian and guide to all souls, ensuring their safe passage to the afterlife. The pronouncement reverberated through the heavens, echoing the justice long sought after, affirming Osiris's dominance over the eternal realms. With Osiris's appointment secured, the gods turned to Horus. They recognized his valor, wisdom, and rightful claim to lead the living. Bestowing upon him the mantle of earthly ruler, they ensured that justice and harmony would reign. Horus's ascension to this divine duty symbolized not only triumph over adversity but also continuity, a sacred assurance that the cycles of life would continue under his steadfast watch. Balance, once disturbed by Set's ambition, was now declared restored by the assembly of gods. Set's punishment was to remain banished to the lifeless desert wastes, his chaos effectively neutralized by Osiris's ordered rule. The immensity of this divine judgment marked a new era, a reign characterized by equilibrium, where Horus and Osiris would safeguard the cycles of existence from both sides of the veil. As the celestial tribunal concluded its proceedings, a celebration erupted among the divine hosts. The heavens rejoiced in the renewal of the cosmic order, their luminescent forms dancing harmoniously among the stars. It was a moment of collective exaltation, a testament to the enduring harmony now woven into the fabric of eternity. In the serene quiet that followed, the gods reflected upon the culmination of the great narrative they represented. With their cosmic duties attended to, they turned their attention not only back to the delicate threads of life and death under their aegis, but also toward the flowing river of life, the Nile. Always a symbol of continuity and undying renewal. In the realm of the afterlife, Osiris, once king of Egypt, now reigns supreme as the benevolent monarch of the dead. His throne, a majestic seat carved from the essence of eternity itself, stands beside the ethereal river Nile. This river, an eternal symbol of life and death, flows gently, linking the world of the living with the silent echoes of the beyond. It carries with it an aura of tranquility and continuity, reminding all who witness its waters of the cycle that governs existence. Osiris, garbed in celestial linen and wearing the crown of Upper Egypt, sits with a calm and regal demeanor. His rule in this realm is one of compassion and justice, qualities that marked his reign in life. As spirits enter his domain, they are met with warmth and guidance. Osiris, with a gesture as gentle as the current of the Nile, welcomes each soul and assures them of their place in the eternal tapestry. His presence brings solace, and he imparts wisdom that echoes through the ages, grounding the deceased in the knowledge that they are part of a continual cycle. To those who arrive, Osiris offers eternal life or a peaceful rest based on their deeds. His judgments are measured and fair, reflecting balance and fairness. The souls are directed toward their appropriate destinies, whether it be a blissful existence in the field of reeds or a return to the earthly plane for yet another cycle of rebirth and learning. His kingdom thrives under his steady hand, a testament to the possibility of order even in the unseen world. Isis, ever devoted, visits her beloved Osiris regularly. In these divine encounters, they share moments of profound understanding and mutual admiration. Their conversations, though silent to others, resonate deeply, exchanging wisdom collected over centuries. Their unity in spirit showcases the enduring power of love that withstands the boundaries of life and death, weaving itself into the very fabric of the cosmos. The narrative of Osiris's reign transcends time, becoming a guiding myth for the living. It serves as a parable of resurrection and renewal, offering hope to those who dwell along the banks of the Nile and beyond. In life and after, Osiris is seen as an emblem of justice, a beacon of hope that promises that life, even beyond death, brims with purpose and meaning. Under Osiris's reign, the realm of the dead is not a place of desolation but one of flourishing tranquility. Eternal seasons pass, and the boundaries of his kingdom are rich with fields that mirror the life-giving Nile. This abundance signifies renewal, a cycle continuous and reassuring, reflected in the souls who find peace and renewal within his domain. Osiris's realm is a place where life and death harmoniously intertwine, echoing the ancient rhythms that pulse throughout Egypt. Meanwhile, Set, banished to the scorching desert wastes, remains a symbol of chaos, his presence a distant memory that underscores the necessity of balance. His absence from Osiris's ordered kingdom highlights the triumph of harmony over discord. Set's influence is but a ripple against the vast ocean of stability Osiris maintains in his realm. As the evening drapes its cloak over the river's still embrace, a subtle glow emerges from the river's depths. It is a reminder of the sacred balance, a balance that sees not only the return of Osiris, but also the continuation of his legacy through his son Horus on Earth. The divine cycle is embraced by all in Egypt, a cycle that turns like the river, constant and life-giving. Thus the story of Osiris's ethereal reign becomes an enduring legend cherished through the ages. His rule over the afterlife, characterized by justice and boundless wisdom, reassures mortals of the world's eternal order. As the tale spreads, it serves as a constant reminder of the perpetual rhythm of existence, instilling both peace and purpose. And so, as Osiris sits beside the eternal Nile, the myth of his journey continues to ripple through time, a legend that breathes life into the cycles of existence. As we step into the next chapter, we turn our gaze to the legacy he left, echoing throughout the realm of the living and beyond, illuminating paths for those to follow. The story of Osiris permeates every corner of ancient Egyptian culture, reaching into the hearts and minds of its people. His narrative, a tale of justice, renewal, and resurrection, serves as a foundational myth that shapes the Egyptian understanding of life and death. In the quiet whispers of the priests during their evening prayers and the grand stories shared around family hearths, Osiris's journey unfolds, offering lessons of resilience and hope. He symbolizes the eternal promise that life continues beyond the veil of death, echoing through generations in songs and festivals. Celebrations and rituals dedicated to Osiris become key fixtures in Egyptian society. The annual festivals held in his honor reflect the grateful recognition of his impact, both in the mortal realm and the world beyond. In the lush banks by the Nile, participants reenact the myth of Osiris's death and resurrection, embodying the eternal cycles he signifies. These rituals not only pay homage to Osiris, but also renew the bond among the people of Egypt with their gods, ensuring that the cosmic balance remains intact. Horus, Osiris's son, continues this noble legacy. Embracing his father's lessons, he rules with justice and wisdom, instilling peace throughout the land. Under Horus's reign, Egypt thrives, and the ideals of balance and righteousness flourish. By nurturing these values, Horus honors the sacrifice and triumph of Osiris, securing the legacy of justice for future generations. His rule is a testament to the enduring power of Osiris's teachings, reinforcing the connection between the rulers and the divine mandates of Maat, the goddess of truth and order. The myth of Osiris and his journey across realms becomes a guiding truth for families confronting mortality. It brings comfort and optimism, assuring that death is not an end, but a transition to a new beginning. Parents recount these tales to their children, who listen wide-eyed, envisioning the protective arms of Osiris awaiting loved ones in the afterlife. His story instills a profound acceptance of life's cyclical nature. Each departure reunites the soul with Osiris, promising renewal and the embrace of loved ones past. Ensuring this promise, Osiris's tale journeys through countless retellings, etched into hieroglyphics on temple walls and woven into the fabric of Egyptian spirituality. As the daily rhythms of life unfurl upon the banks of the Nile, so too does the narrative of Osiris, reminding all of the eternal flow of existence. The surface of the river reflects constant renewal, harnessing his energy through its life-giving waters. Every flood and every retreat echoes the promise of resurrection, threading the lifeline of Egypt with the spirit of Osiris. The sacred Nile, central to Egyptian life, emulates Osiris's example of nurturing existence. Like the benevolent king himself, its waters feed the land and its people, facilitating growth, agriculture, and prosperity. As the river flows steadily, it narrates the continuity of life and the cyclical passage of souls through time. It is in these waters that the Egyptian people find assurance, witnessing the divine balance between growth and retreat, life and death, over and over again. With reverence for this divine cycle, the Egyptians embrace life and its inevitable transitions. The rhythm of renewal, underscored by Osiris's myth, paves a path of resilience and hope. The celebrations marking births and new beginnings echo life's eternal dance, reinforcing the certainty that creation and renewal are infinite, entangled with the rhythms of the earth and sky. Each new life is celebrated as part of the endless continuum that started with Osiris, ensuring that his legacy flourishes forever within the hearts of the people. Osiris's tale unfolds like a gentle current, echoing through the annals of time. The lives of the ancient Egyptian people are intertwined with his myth, seeing in it a narrative of profound peace and certainty amid the mysteries of existence. With the enduring cycles of life, death, and rebirth, they draw comfort and guidance, embracing the fluidity of Osiris's legacy as an everlasting truth. It offers solace, reminding them that in each ending sprouts new beginnings, carrying forth the wisdom of the eternal Nile River.